What's going on, guys? Carcom Knight, you with another Magic the Gathering video. In today's video, we'll be diving into the starter decks yet again. We're going to dive into our second one in the channel. If you haven't seen the first one, it's going to be posted somewhere in the video, probably up now, maybe, if I remember correctly. If not, I'll be posted somewhere later in the video. But what we're doing is we're going through the basic monocolor starter decks in the new update. And we're going to kind of break down the decks themselves, kind of upgrade them, and then we're going to play some games and kind of see what's going on. So the last video we did the mono green one. Today we're going to be doing the mono red one. The mono red one's very interesting. I could have probably made it much more aggressive, but I decided to kind of keep the flavor of what it was trying to do, and it's like a goblins deck. And all in all, is what I'm just trying to do is do like a mono red goblins deck. And in current standard, with the way the meta is currently in this 2021 style of Magic the Gathering, there really aren't that many goblins to choose from, so we are very limited on what we're trying to do. And a lot of them really don't have haste, so it definitely slows it down there. But overall, the idea here is we're just trying to play a bunch of goblins, do a bunch of things, and hopefully, do hit our opponent fast enough with a bunch of small things, and do maybe a couple triggers here or there to kind of like get additional goblins. But overall, the deck is very fun. If you haven't really seen it, we're gonna go into that in a second and kind of talk about it. But guys, if you like this video, hit that like button. If you want to post more videos, hit that subscribe button. But let's dive into the goblins deck, break it down, kind of talk about the cards that are in the starter deck, and then talk about what I did to kind of convert it into maybe a little bit more of a competitive deck. Alright, first and foremost, as you can kind of see here, this is the Goblins deck. It's kind of all over the place. There's not really many things of multiple copies. We kind of have ones and twos of a lot of things. And then there's certain things in here that are okay, but they're not amazing. So overall, what the deck does, play some Shocks, which is a pretty decent movable spell. You can also play a couple other things as well, like Dragon Fire Breath and all that stuff. So that's like a possibility. It doesn't cost, that costs 2 mana, this costs 1, so 1 mana removal is always good. Storm Strike for some additional first strike, yada yada yada. Some of the goblins here are interesting, like this one, whenever it becomes blocked, you get a 1/1 red goblin token, so additional tokens every time this becomes blocked, but he has a 1/1, so it makes it a little tougher for him to survive. So if there's a way that your opponent plays like walls or something, then maybe he can actually get in and get blocked and actually get you 1/1 tokens. Or if you have other things as we get further in the deck, there's things to kind of create there's kind of things to give goblins +1/+1. So overall, we got this guy who can make anything with power 2 or less can be blocked this turn. Nest Robber is a 2/1 haster. It's not really a goblin, so it kind of doesn't really fit. So that's definitely right off the bat, that's definitely something I'm going to get. Burn Bright's a very interesting card. I think it's an M21. It's a 3 mana instant spell that gives all our creatures +2/+0 until end of turn. So we kind of swing in big with our goblins if we have enough on the battlefield to do some big damage. Got Goblin Gathering. This is kind of like the mono blue spell. If you haven't seen, the more copies we have of this card in the graveyard, the more goblins we get. We start off with 2. So for 3 mana, we can get 2 red goblin tokens. So definitely good in that sense. Ravagers is just an elemental 0/4 wall that we can pump for 1 mana. Raid Bombardment's a new kind of like cavalcade. Whenever we control a creature with power 2 or less attacks, Bombardment deals 1 damage each to that player or planeswalker that is attacking. So if we're attacking a planeswalker with one of our goblins, it's going to do 1 damage to our opponent's planeswalker and or their face, so that's definitely cool. Goblin Gang Leader is a pretty cool goblin in the sense it's a 4 mana 2/2, but then it comes to the battlefield additional 2 1/1 red goblin tokens. The Trash Master, which kind of is our goblin lord in the sense, it's not as good as like any of the goblins that are in historic, but overall it gives all our goblins +1/+1, and we can sacrifice a goblin and throw it at an artifact and destroy it. Battle Driver is pretty cool in the sense that whenever a creature enters the battlefield under our control, that creature gets +2/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. So if we have it like if we play this and then the following turn play Goblin Gang Leader and make additional tokens, all those things come into the battlefield +2/+0. So like the Goblin Gang Leader comes in as 4/2, the little tokens come in as 3/1s. So definitely a cool weight in that sense. Immortal Phoenix, it's a fly-in 5/3. When it dies, we get to return it back to our hand. Inescapable Blaze, 6 mana for 6 damage to any target, can't be countered. It's okay, it's nothing really amazing. 6 mana for 6 damages and can't be countered. It's not really great. I think there's much better things that you can definitely do with 6 mana, but is what it is. It is a starter deck, so it's definitely a good starter card to have. Volcanic Dragons is 6 mana for 4 flying haste. Yet again, not really much bang for your buck. You're spending 6 mana to only get something that maybe flies in the air and can attack immediately. I think there's things that definitely are cheaper, and you can always pump up and make it just as strong, if not spending less mana. Then you get the Siege Dragon, which is like probably the coolest rare in the whole deck. It, when it enters battlefield, destroy all the walls your opponent controls, and whenever it attacks, if the defend player controls no walls, it deals 2 damage to each creature without flying that player controls. So after it destroys walls, it will just kind of sweep the board, which is definitely cool. And combine this with the Orgel Batter Driver, this can come in immediately and do 2 damage across the board and maybe wipe out all your opponent's small things. And then just 25 mountains. That's the deck. I mean, it's a pretty interesting deck, but let's kind of dive into what I did to the deck and kind of like talk about what is kind of like what I changed and kind of what I made it more goblin focused. As you'll see in this deck, there, like I said, there really aren't many goblins. Hopefully in Zendikar we're gonna get more goblins, kind of make this a little bit more. I know like in Zendikar, I think previously there was a couple goblin cards that came in the previous Zendikar, so it's definitely cool to have additional goblins in the set. All right, as you can see here, this is my refined list. Yet again, guys, as I go through these videos, all of the lists and deck lists will be posted in the description down below. Also showing you what I took out to add in things. The one thing I think I made a change here for the Heraldic Banner, but I think I made the change in the list, so if you don't see it, all I did off the top of my head is I took out some more mountains and I added in Heraldic Banners because it just produces mana, so I think 22 lands is probably good enough, plus the Heraldic Banner, I think overall, which produces additional mana, so I think that's definitely good. But nonetheless, I kind of kept a lot of things kind of intact, and I also added in some more copies of various things I thought were good and added in some over-the-top things. So first card up, we have 4 copies of Shock, so we went up from the starter deck, so we just added an additional copy. We now have 4 10th Street Cadets because, you know, it's a decent 1-drop. If we can get block attack into something that doesn't have any power, it will get more goblin tokens for us. Conspicuous Snoop, which will allow us to look at the top of our library. We can play goblins from the top of our library, and as long as the top of our library is a goblin card, it gains all activated abilities of the card. That ability is not really great because other than... Actually, I don't really think there's anything in this goblin deck that has an activated ability, but I mean, it's a good card just to kind of like allow us to play more goblins off top of our library in case we start drawing into lands, and then we can see a goblin on top. Then we got some more copies of Burn Bright. We only play 2 because it's kind of like the big finish. We don't really want to keep on swinging with Burn Brights because it only gives attack, it doesn't give toughness, so we don't want to swing in and then like lose everything if we don't go through, so we only do 2 copies there. Still 4 copies of Goblin Gathering, up the copies of Raid Bombardment to 4. This is kind of tricky in the late game if I have a lot of things that pump our creatures, that this actually doesn't do anything, but in the early game we can definitely get some extra damage in. Heraldic Banner, which you can choose red, which will allow us to give creatures of the chosen color +1/+0 of that color, and we can make mana of that chosen color, so it makes all our goblins this that much stronger without having a leader on the battlefield. Then we got 4 copies of the Goblin Gang Leader because it makes additional copies, makes more goblin tokens, so definitely good in that sense. I added up to 4 copies of Goblin Trash Master just because why not? We need more things to get all our things +1/+1. Still 2 copies of Ogre Battle Driver, just because I think it's okay. It's not a goblin, but it's definitely a decent card that it does has a good upside if we get it on the battlefield, and makes everything just kind of come to the battlefield instantly and be able to attack and just that much stronger. And of course, because it's mono red, I decided to add Embercleave. There's a lot of goblin tokens on the battlefield. If we have some things that pump up our goblins, attack in, put this on one of those goblins, we definitely can swing in for game. And I also added in some Castle Embereths just because, yet again, another thing to pump our goblins, get in for some big damage. The goal here is to kind of get wide on your opponent and just kind of ping them for damage, and then it'll hopefully eventually pump your things to just ping them for more damage and hopefully kill them before they can do anything to catch up. And then 19 Mountains is the cards. So that is kind of like the goblin deck. Like I said, guys, all this stuff of what I took out and what I replaced with what, if you want to kind of go through like a step-by-step process, if you don't have all these cards or are kind of working up into get more cards, all that stuff will be down in the links down below in the description. But enough being said, guys, let's dive into some games. Let's kind of play some game, hopefully get some wins. I was kind of like 50-50 because I felt like I was playing some of the same people over and over again, so it's kind of like 50-50 on the wins. But this deck is just fun because, you know, sometimes it's cool to play a cool tribal deck. So enough being said, let's get into games. Let's hopefully get some victories and talk about it later. All right, so on the play, I mean, we don't have a lot of early game, but we do have a little bit of spot removal, and we have this top end, so I think this is an okay hand. Our deck is not very quick, to be quite honest. All right, so our opponent's playing tap lanes, which I think could be good. Let's mute our opponent, though, because, no offense, that dog can get annoying. Oh, it's my priority. Oops. No. Just make our opponent seem like we have all the shocks. They're playing Teamer. Not sure if they're playing Teamer Elementals. Teamer Elementals. They're playing Adventures, okay. We'll just shock that, because then they can't attack with their guy. We'll play this, and we'll choose red. So it looks like they drew all their tap mana, but we're not playing very quickly, so if they start getting their stuff out, we could be in trouble. All right. There we go. There's some things. All right, so we can play Goblin Gathering. And then we'll play the Tin Tree Cadet. I don't think they have a bounce. Okay, they have their own shock. Interesting. Tristan. I know they're not going to swing with the edge wall, so that's perfectly fine. Alright, they're really trying to protect the board here. That's perfectly fine for us, though, because, I mean, we'll just play things that will make more and more, Alright, they did the exchange, which is perfectly fine yet again, because, I mean, I'll just play things like Goblin Gang Leader. Make him more goblins. And then we'll play Goblin Trash Master. They like the top card. Still fine. I don't have enough to do both, so we'll play this guy because they don't have anything to really deal with that at the moment. Plus, giving everything +2 plus whatever is always good. They could play like they could play a Love Struck Beast as like defense. They have 4 mana. The good thing is we can always throw a goblin at their artifact if they decide to play it. So I can't. I would have to destroy mine. That's fine. They have another borrower. They have a Fae. That's fine. That is perfectly fine in my book. Play a Snoop, because why not? We could always have more things. Just getting wide, you know. Oh, no, don't want to do that. I mean, I'll swing in for some damage. I mean, they'll block. They'll trump that. They'll take 4, so that's good. Next turn, we could get really big on them. I don't think they have enough to pretty much stop all this damage, because we could swing in for big damage. Yeah. Run the play. Hand's interesting. I'll keep, because I don't mind risking. Alright, they don't have the annoying dog. We'll see go. We'll see what they're playing. Mono white. Looks like starter. We'll probably shock that. Yeah, we'll wait. They could have other things that gain life, so we'll wait on the shock. Maybe we'll shock the thing that benefits from it gaining life. See, we can always do that, and we'll shock there, so it doesn't get any more life. All right, they gain 1, which isn't terrible. We'll play this. Play this for red. Play this. We'll say go. So maybe they won't attack, because now we have a 2-1. Alright. That's fair. It still goes up, so I think we exchange here, as much as that seems weird. Alright. That's fair. I had to conserve, so... And this pretty much prevents them from attacking in. Because they can attack him with their 1-1, but I mean, I could always block. I've also noticed that this deck, when I do play it, it seems like the person always draws multiple copies of that. Alright. Pacifism it is. Let's draw big, because we need things that can do big damage. Not another Heraldic Banner. Unfortunately, that does nothing for me. But I'll choose this yet again. And I guess Bombardment. But this is pretty much ineffective, because even my 1-1s are now big 1-1s. Yeah, this sucks. There's not really much in the way of red removal to deal with um to deal with. So that's a 7. I can attack immediately. I would take 1 for... Yeah, why not? They only have 4 mana. They can't play their 1 spell. I'm not dead, but we are going to be close. They're going to gain some life back. They could hold back blockers, leave this back. Oh, they go all in. All right. They're at 20. That's a 5. Goblins? A Snoop is good. If I can chain some things off top of the library. Oh my goodness, that's a big old Snoopy boy. But unfortunately, I pulled the Ember Cleave, but it's not in my hand because that does nothing for me, unfortunately. Crap. No attacks. End turn. I gotta sit back, unfortunately, just because I'm dead if I don't. All right, and that's what they needed. They needed some way to get through me. If they didn't have that, they wouldn't have. They probably would have maybe attacked, but would have held that back. But it is what it is. That one pacifism hurt. We're on the play. No? Yes. Right? Yeah. Yeah, this is good. I'll get rid of a gang leader, I think. You know what? Actually, let's get rid of a bombardment because this already makes like that too strong. Yeah, we'll go. We'll say go. They are playing fancy lands. All right, another land. That's good. They're playing blue-black. Dimir? Flash of some sort? Could have a counter, could have a creature. I don't really know. Oh, that's fine. Because this produces mana and we just shock that. They don't have double blue, so counter could be out of the question now. Gang leader? You have a flash creature. You're gonna draw a card. Okay. I saw your strategy. I see your strategy here. You're playing like some draw Dimir deck. They like the top two cards. That's not good for us. It produces some extra tokens, which is good. That's our turn though. That's fine. I like to thin my deck out anyway. I need some more lands, so you put in things in the graveyard is good for me. Let's attack. Let's see what they play. I mean, I can just reload anyway after this attack's all said and done, so I don't really care if they decide to block anything. I mean, this is a good chunk of damage. Even if they mill us again, we are going to have cards that are gonna be okay. Snoop's good in this situation. Do they want to counter this? See, that's perfectly fine because we can now play another Goblin Gang Lead. We'll play this though. Produces 2 more tokens. They can't do anything in that turn. Snoop would have been a better play, but I think having 2 additional tokens on the battlefield, their 2/1s are good. They have a lot of mana. That's fine. That's actually a cool, interesting combo. All right, mill me again. No, not my Snoops. All right, I mean, I'm not really gonna hold anything back. They have to If they want to take a lot of damage, they have to block. Because, I mean, I have... That's fine. Taking... That's 6? I can make it 9, puts him down to 6. That's fine. We'll play another one. I'm playing reckless, dude. Playing reckless. He's staring at this. What does he have, a opt? Is he doing math? Is he a brazen borrower? Alright, so you got an octopus to now draw cards. Alright, so the cards to get answers. So now we have lethal on the board. He can attack and be aggressive. But does he have enough to... Okay, so he's going to be aggressive. So he has to draw something to wipe the board. Because, I mean, it's lethal on board. Does he have enough flash things? He has 6 mana. He has 3 cards in hand. I think... I mean, I'm going to push in. Maybe he has multiple brazen borrowers? If he has 3. I mean, we'll pump everything. He already went past blockers, so we can't play anything in response. He has a response. I mean, regardless of if you got rid of that, everything's still gonna get pumped. Interesting. All right, so now what? So he saved himself 2 points. I don't think he can attack. All right, so he's gonna attack with this 2/2. Does he have another one? Does he have a play? I'm so confused. Now he has a 4/4 on the board. Why is my deck all glowy? I'm so confused. I mean, I'll play a card. I still have mana to tap. Swing in. Does he do it again or something? Okay. That's perfectly fine. You can mill my top card. Yeah. I was gonna say, you had to have like some sort of way at that point to like nullify all the damage. All right, opponent's going first. I mean, our hand's still very good. 3 mana, we got a Heraldic Banner, Tin Street Cadet, Goblin Gang Leader. I mean, this hand's pretty solid. The only thing is we're on the play, so it kind of sucks in that sense. This is definitely a hand I think is better on the draw. Weird feeling either Teamer Adventures or possibly the Is It deck is my best guess off the bat. I don't really, unless it's playing the starter deck. Also, lack of sleeves. I don't know, something about me and sleeves, you know? Riddle Farm. Okay, that's a solid play by him. I'll swing in for 1. I mean, I can't really block that anyway as flying. Next turn we can Heraldic Banner. Gang Leader the following turn. Sprite Dragon's good. That's fine. This deck's actually very, very good, actually, in Limited. I may do like a post... is my version of it post-rotation? I don't really know. We'll do this for red. Yet again, can't block anything on the battlefield. They have flying. I'm actually tempted to possibly next turn play the Ogre Battle Driver and possibly the Fallen Turn Goblin Gang Leader, because that could be a big swing all in one turn. They also bottomed that, so it must have not been the best card. We are close to being dead though, so if they have a lot of spells next turn, we could just die. Next turn, if we get the right cards, we could technically swing in for lethal, I think, if they don't leave anything open to block. And never mind. That's 7. I don't understand the unsummon, I guess to trigger, but you could have infuriated, which would have done the same thing. Didn't have to do the extra step. Doesn't have flying. All right, we're on the play. This hand's pretty good. If we can get just additional mana, this hand definitely can do some things. We're playing against a person who is playing a sleeved deck, so that is something to worry about. They're playing blue mana. All right. We'll play the Snoop. We could have had anything. Cast Holic Banner on top is very strong. That's perfectly fine. Red, of course. No attacks. Goal here now is just to get wide on our opponent, because they only have so many things. Are they playing some sort of Simic deck, possibly? Cultivate? Maybe a Simic, like, Ugin style deck is my best guess. Nissa's out of the format, so it's not like they're playing a turn 5 Nissa. That land would have been very, very helpful. Why don't we do this? We'll attack in. We'll see what they do. Well, we'll make sure we kill it, I guess, right? As long as we got some damage, killed it, you know, slowed it down, didn't allow them to do anything, I guess is good. We're gonna draw a land next turn. Could play Goblin Gang Leader. Now, the one thing I could see them having, Uro's not bad. They can't play him back yet. Do you get additional land? They didn't play a land for the turn, I don't think, or maybe they did. I can't remember. They are definitely on some sort of oh, Embercleave, that would have been good. I mean, I'll still attack in. They have something to hold priority. Brazen Borrower? A shark? Are they gonna block my 2/1? That's fine. We'll make more. They have 6 cards. They can get an Uro back. Uro's pretty good. Gain some life. Get additional land. They're at 18. That's not bad. They're at 20. Okay, so they reset, which is fine. I mean, Uro's gonna die more than likely if they decide to block. They know what I have in my hand. They've seen every single card. They have a counter? You have the counter. Do not have the counter. They had the borrower. We'll put it there. They want to bounce this. They opt. All right, they go for the opt. Looking for the answer. They don't like the card on top. All right, it goes through. Everything's fine. Everything's hunky-dory. They gotta do it for 6. Or they can ping it. Embercleave is a red artifact. Legendary artifact, though. Does that actually get eliminated? Exile permanent converting my cost X or more. That's 1 or more colors, so it is a red artifact. I wonder if they're thinking that. It's like, do I do 4 or do I do 6? They do 6. That's fine.
All creation can be undone.
Now this is the tricky part, just because if we play this, he can just -0 and stall. I mean, I could stall his Ugin until I draw something, so we're gonna keep those on the battlefield and see what he does. Now the thing is, it's like, what is the big card in Simic? What is the big card they're trying to play here? He's probably thinking to himself, yeah. He's probably thinking to himself, do I -0 or do I? Okay, so that's the new big card. That I don't have an answer for, unfortunately. I'm just gonna leave now. All right, so I mean, overall, the deck isn't that bad when I guess matched up against maybe an evenly competitive deck. But I mean, against maybe a deck that's probably a little bit more full-fledged out of what it's trying to do, we kind of fall behind just because it's not this deck currently in the current standard when it goes post rotation. It's a little tougher because we don't have as many aggressive goblins. So I mean, that's the only downfall. I mean, you could play some more aggressive mono red cards because we still have the knight, we still have the rogue. So I mean, there's those cards that you could probably do. But if you want to keep it the goblin theme, the deck is kind of lacking overall. But if you just want to play a fun tribal style goblin deck, I mean, give it a shot. Like I said, guys, the links for all this deck will be down in the list. There'll be a clip at some point in this video of where you can kind of click and watch the mono green deck, which I think is a much better deck overall. But let me know what you guys think as well down in the comments below. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you want to post more videos, hit that subscribe button. If you want to check out one of the videos that are probably popping up as I'm talking at the outro here, you can click one of those. But until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next video.